Okay, thank you for recording. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Paul.
Good good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, happy
Good morning.
Tuesday. Oh, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful morning. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, I know our lives are so busy. We all have so much to do, and taking time out definitely to talk about something that is so passionate to you and also
Yes.
passionate to me, because I'll tell you a little later down in the interview why it is so passionate to me too. And we hope that this message definitely can transcend to people who it will be useful to. And and like I said, this is our passion. So I'm so grateful for you being here this morning, taking time
Absolutely.
out actually to do this interview and talk with me. Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Powell.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
And
all right. So I want to begin by saying that by profession, you are a mental health therapist.
that's correct.
But I'm seeing your passion, like I just said, is to talk more about missing fathers, which are affecting lives of our future leaders, which are our children, because our children are our future leaders, right?
Yes.
Thanks for the great work that you're putting in with sharing your videos and your informative forum sessions about missing fathers. We see that
Yes.
everywhere. Fathers are missing, turning up missing everywhere. We need to do something. We need to talk more about it and place more emphasis to see if it will hit home to not only the fathers who are missing, but the young boys who are coming up not to follow certain trends. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a few questions for you. I'm going to start with
Okay.
my first one first. The first
Okay.
one is you've been working and sharing knowledge, I would say advocating for missing fathers to reconnect with their children. What do you think are the main causes for missing fathers today in the family dynamic? I would say I grew up without a father. My dad died when I was about 3 years and 2 months, so I don't know what it's like to have a father. But I had five brothers. So although my father was missing there was some kind of male presence in my life. Although they weren't living in the home, um, they used to come and they used to make sure that, listen, my little sister is okay. And some of them were very, what must I say, protective of their little sister. And so I know what it's like to have a male presence in my life, but not a father every day in the home. Today, missing fathers are missing for many reasons, etc. They are in prison, they are in drugs with another family dynamic. They leave one and they go to another family. Don't know how to father mentally or physically. What are your findings for your walk so far?
Well, it's loaded. I'm a mental health therapist, as you just alluded to,
Yeah.
and I've been practicing for 22 years.
Mm.
And one thing that I've noticed with males, some males, it's very hard. We've been socialized not to verbalize our feelings, so we kind of keep these feelings in, these thoughts, and that sort of thing. And if we don't have that fatherly guidance, we kind of lean to our right side of thinking. Our right side of the brain controls emotion. The left side controls logic. And so if we just have, and let me first of all, big ups to the mothers. I love the mothers. But from the offspring, male and female, the word family, the acronym family, FAMILY, simply stands from the offspring, father and mother, I love you. When you take
Ooh,
the
that's deep.
father,
I love that.
you
Ooh,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, I have to
But
take that.
yes, please do, because that's from the offspring, father and mother, I love you. But when you subtract the father, you ask the question, well, what are some reasons? What are my findings? What I find is that in most cases, you know, fathers and males, they grow up without that guidance. And so they kind of like depend on an emotional on that right side and react emotionally and don't know how to regulate their emotional intelligence. They don't know how to actually be a father because they had that father missing. You have this is I mean, it's loaded, intergenerational. I mean, you have a lot of times when, because you don't have that, then you have these males that kind of repeat what their father might have done in terms of prison, in terms of using females, in terms of, even now it's been a rise of females going to prison, females even joining gangs, and fathers, males, uh, drug dependency. The new thing now are the pills. They're using these pills. They say it in these music, in these rap music songs. So they think that's what it's supposed to be a father. Males, they think because I'm gonna act emotionally, not really think logically on what I'm supposed to do to be a male. They think that's it. So they're trying to figure it out. They never really had. One thing about males, we're very visual and we live vicariously. That's why you have a lot of males that love sports figures. You see the sports jersey on, the sports hats, because we live vicariously. They don't see, if you're living with the mother, thank God for the mother, but you don't see the male getting up every day to go to work. I don't understand that. You don't see the male resolve the emotion. Instead of using the right side, they use the left side of the brain, which controls the logic. They don't understand how to, okay, let me regulate my mood, and so I won't go out here and kill the next male that look like me. They don't know, if they don't have the male mother and father. So if they had the father missing, they growing up with just the mother, they don't understand that I am someone valuable. I do have self-worth, because now, my father's missing. So how could he validate me? I mean, it's big. If you ever go to the park these days, Nicola, if you go to these parks these days and they playing sports and everything, you see a lot of mothers. Where are the fathers? God.
Yeah, that is nice. All right, so we can move to the next question. Question two. This is looking at missing fathers from a different paradigm. The fathers are in the home, they're there, but emotionally they are not available because, like you said, they themselves were not fathers as a child. So the wives, has to be the emotional support source in both capacity, as a wife and also as a husband. Have you seen this during your advocacy walk, and how do you think these fathers can be helped?
Yes, good question, Nicola. Yes, the question is, yes, I have seen this in my practice, where the father's there physically and he's not there emotionally. I actually have a video on that. Are the fathers emotionally present? And again, we talk about the cognitive and how we think, but a lot of times we don't focus on the emotional intelligence, and what I mean emotionally connected. And then we do have sometimes where you just have the father that is sitting there but yet not there.
Yeah.
That is an issue. That is an issue. I think one solution to that is getting these fathers, and that's my goal. Has, with this pandemic, we're doing this on the YouTube or FaceTime, whatever FaceTime, this technology stuff. But I'm so used to interface with people. So because of the pandemic, that's a obstacle, which brings opportunity to get these men, virtually, and get them into a group. Once I said, it's hard for them to really open up virtually, versus, because you won't see a lot of males go to therapy. They don't believe in it. They don't believe in talking to some other female male. They don't trust.
Just like I talked about that in a video before, because men are taught to not to show emotion, but men have emotions too. So they bottle it up. I think because of ego, that's one, or maybe how they were brought up. Their parents said, "Listen, suck it up, don't shed tears. We have to allow our boys to cry. They're humans just like us too." So I said it in a previous video. So you're so right. Yeah, you can continue.
Yeah, so the goal here is, I thought maybe if I can't go through the front door, because a lot of males, they slam the door. They like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm okay. I can handle it. But coming in through the back door virtually, one thing I know, when fathers are missing, either they missing emotionally, or they still physically present, not there, or they have absconded physically. One thing I do know, a lot of males, they pay their phone bill. So since they got their phone bill, guess what? They got the internet. Now they got the internet, they may have YouTube or all the social media platforms, and that in the privacy of their home, they can look at it and get this good healing.
Perfect. I
That's
love I love it. 'Cause listen, they need it. They,
yes,
and we just don't want to focus on the females and leave the male because we need our male. Those
yes,
are our backbone. According to the Bible, of course, the male is the head of the home. But
yes,
that dynamic has changed a little in today's society where male and female are doing the work to keep the home, balanced. Years ago it was the man, listen, it's me, I'm doing this. So we have to understand the pressure is on. So we have to be a little lenient with our male. All right.
yes.
Thank you so kindly. The next
Oh,
question is you see some men who did not have their fathers in their life, like I said before, would often say that they want to be better fathers to their children despite their father missing. So you hear them say, I didn't have a father at home, but I'm going to put my best foot forward to be better father. I'm going to father my children. I'm going to do this because I'm going to show my father was a better father than he did. But you could see that the effort that is there. However, 45% of the time, the only response to discussing dealing with children issues is showing up. That we got an issue, the financial issue, we want to talk, but they don't want to talk. They show up with the money. Listen, this is what you have to get, and they disappear. Still in their mind, they're thinking that, listen, I've completed the task, I've given the money. But the emotional support, like we talked about before, the physicality need to hug your son and say, son, you got this, your daughter, you got this. They disappear, they're gone, but they showed up and they said, that's it, that's as far as I can go. And we got to admire them for making that effort because they did not know or they did not receive it before. So they show up with the money. That's a 50%. What is it that you think, and maybe your previous question, your previous answered, that they can do for that other 50? To have that emotional, that physicality with their children. You can see the effort. These are men who want to do it, but like they don't know how to do it. They're not getting that push to do it. What are you thinking today, like with what is happening in society? I know there's so many pressure around the work, economically in the homes. What is it that you think that can happen to these guys? How do you think that they can be helped? Or do you think the childhood wounds that they have are still affecting them?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, like I said, this is loaded. This is a twofold answer. First answer is, again, that socialization piece that we've all been through. When I mean we, males and females,
Yeah.
we grow up early. Males are saying, "Stop, don't cry. You okay? You bumped your head or whatever, but you okay?" More or less, the daughters is more nurturing. They're taught to express themselves. They're taught to really, So I figured that if we can get a group, a virtual group, where we can have these males to learn how to really regulate emotion, how to really show that piece and feel safe to show that piece of, emotionally giving a hug, being there emotionally, allowing their sons and children to cry after them now that they're adults, but they need to be taught that. I think that we do applaud the effort that they do bring the money and that sort of thing. But I think part of that is systemically in society where, and I mentioned this in one of my videos, where we have the emphasis that's placed on the male to be outside of the home versus in. In the 1970s, systemically, we had what we call welfare. And the welfare systems kind of like had the female that had the children, she lives in the home, but the male was denied to live with her if she's receiving welfare system. They used to call them ADFC raids. Now, what beautifully illustrated this was the movie Claudine in the 1970s, James Earl Jones. So then we went up into now the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
Now males are now denied housing once again, systemically, if the woman is receiving welfare assistance or she receiving public